I've already had fans messaging me like they literally saw the trailer and they've already like translated it and like,
really?
Nah, it's crazy.
Wow, because we have an idea. We want to do a lingo for Yautja. We think that would be a great...
That's gonna pop off.
Yeah, it is.
I can already see it.
So this is your first hunt. And you've come to the most dangerous planet in the universe.
For starters, why do you think fans should experience Predator: Badlands in IMAX?
I think most people associate IMAX with the giant screen experience, and that's very much a reason to go see it in IMAX. If you're going to the theater, you should definitely prioritize seeing it in IMAX. It's my favorite of the formats. That being said, it's actually, for me, the sound that puts it over the edge. The mix that we did in IMAX, I think, is my favorite of all. There's subtle differences between the mixes, and the way the theaters are set up really makes the movie sound kick-ass, and I mean that figuratively and literally. So I truly hope that most people go see the movie in IMAX.
Oh.
Well, when I saw the film for the first time completely finished, we both saw it in IMAX. Yes, it was a huge screen. It was in London, and it was epic. It just surrounds you. Like, you feel like you're in the Badlands. Yeah. You're on Genna, on the planet. You're feeling the creatures. The sound is incredible. And I just feel like you want to experience with an audience on the biggest screen possible.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, you want to feel the
made
Predator's
for IMAX.
breath.
Yeah.
It is.
A huge element in this story is that you developed an entire language for the Predator. What was that process like, and why did you feel like it was necessary for this film?
The process was hiring the genius Britton Watkins, who's a linguist, and he developed the language pretty much from the ground up, both written and oral. And for me, it just brings so much more authenticity. It feels like the movie is actually archaeologically discovering a culture when you think through the language and allow it to be, like, Britain developed it based on vocalizations we'd heard previously, but specifically like the physiology of the face and the way that its throat and mouth and mandibles are all shaped.
What was that experience like, having to learn an entire new language?
It was cool, man. It was difficult. I'm not gonna lie. Myself and Elle had to learn, Yautja.
Dimitrius more than me, but
it was it was honestly so fun. Like, I've never had to do anything like that in any previous role that I've done, so it was quite daunting at first. But yeah, I guess just with anything, if you drill it and just practice it all the time. I had it literally in my headphones like 24/7 when I'd be away from set, just trying to drill it in. Yeah, and I feel like once you start getting used to the clicking of the throat, you got Yautja down by that point. But it's honestly so cool, and feel really honored to be able to bring a language to establish a proper language with the franchise. I think it's something that fans will really appreciate, and I've already had fans messaging me like they literally saw the trailer and they've already like translated it and like,
really?
Nah, it's crazy.
Wow, because we have an idea. We want to do a lingo for Yautja. We think that would be a great...
That's gonna pop off.
Yeah, it is.
I can already see it.
Yes.
But
yes.
I'm signed up already. So, if you could give it your best shot, how do you think you would say IMAX in Yautja?
IMAX. Ooh, what would you say?
I don't know. You know the... Yeah. Anything, that's totally right. Like anything that Dimitrius says.
We'll have to hit up Britain. He's the one that constructed it.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to ask him for
He
IMAX
would have
translation.
a word for it.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Another huge element was actually being able to see the Predator's face and his expressions and reactions to everything. So what was that process like for you, and why did you also feel that that was necessary?
We tried some tests in the beginning to do it the way we had always done before and have it be a complete foam latex headpiece. And it just was not able to articulate the range of emotions we knew we needed for the movie like this, where he is our protagonist and our window into the soul of the movie. So we instead developed with Wedo Workshop a physical suit that he was in the entire time all of our Predators were in, but with an open cowl. So the facial performance could be driven by an actor, but then taken over by visual effects artists and handled digitally. And that really allowed all the subtleties to come through and the powerful performance that Dimitrius gave Deck in a way that if we had just done a physical build, it never would have been able to been accomplished.
And I know at Comic-Con you guys kind of talked about the process of like Deck carrying Thea on his back. And so can you tell me like how you established something that really worked for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of different variations of the rigs that they literally created this wire work and these harnesses for this film alone. We were on a wheelbarrow. There was one that was like attached to his hips that he would be rolling me up hills, and then there was one that we'd be on these wires. My legs would be like in a sling and be attached to trees, and we're flying through the air together, and there was a lot of different variations on it. Even one where we didn't use any attachments, and I just we walked backwards together. And I was like on my tippy toes to like get up high, but that was one.
Yeah.
That was the most comfortable one. Didn't have to have a harness, but we learned that kind of quite later on. We're like, we maybe could have done this other times. But it was fascinating to just see what they came up with, and really felt like overcoming the physical challenges of that and marrying that with the acting and the emotion. And so it's a big feat. But
you mentioned you pulled inspiration from characters like Clint Eastwood and Mad Max. So how did you feel like those were important figures for this story?
Just truly in thinking about the strong silent type, guys that are anti-heroes, that are not Dudley Do-Rights, that are who you'd think of as a hero when you first met them. When you think of Mad Max and Road Warrior, or westerns like Shane, they're guys that have their own agenda, that are blowing through town just to get what they want, and then have to reckon with helping or not helping. And they're characters that are kind of bad dudes, that are mean dudes, that you're just hoping become a little less mean by the end, as opposed to the more traditional hero. And that seemed to fit exactly what we wanted in a movie, where we weren't defanging the Predator in any way, making him any less monstrous or ferocious, wanted to still let him be a badass, but have a little bit more of an emotional journey to go through.
You guys have very unique roles, so did you look at any other characters or creatures or performances for inspiration?
Yeah, I mean, all of the previous Predator films were like my homework, and I got a lot of inspiration as well from the Dark Horse comics, just to inform, I guess, the behaviors, or just take the aspects that people love about the Predator, like what makes him so iconic. But then I also wanted to add my own flavor, Dick is his own individual and unique yautja, so kind of embodying that.
I had the other Alien films to watch, of like the other synths that have come before, but we really wanted to forge our own path and create an android, two androids that we'd really never seen before. So this is like set the furthest into the future of the Predator world or an alien world that we've seen. So Thea and Tessa got to be kind of the most advanced androids that we've seen. And because of that, I think there's, especially in Thea, but more of a humanity or empathy and more of like a human-like emotion that I could play with. So she has a big personality, which is fun.
We might not be alone in this hunt.